Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is gonna be on Supergirl. Okay, now, we're in a whole new DC universe. I'm down with it. I love the whole DCEU. I didn't like how it wrapped up, but I still enjoyed it, I have to admit. But anyway, we have a new Superman and now a whole new Supergirl. And I have to tell you, when I first saw the previews for this, I was okay with it. But then when they said that they were going to be having Lobo in this movie, I'm going to see it. It doesn't matter if the movie's good or not. I need to see Lobo on the big screen. Now, some of the reviews have been coming out for this movie, and, they've been kind of mixed. Some people are saying that it's not good and, that they didn't enjoy it, and some were saying it's just okay, and others are saying it's great. So the reviews have been really mixed on it, and when that usually happens, I usually tend to like the movie because I give a little bit more credit than some people do. But anyway, I was still excited to see this movie just because of Lobo. And was it any good? Yes! Now, this movie isn't a great movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand how some of the reviewers have been saying that it's just okay. It's not that great. But I have to be honest, I really enjoyed the movie. I had a good time watching it, even though I know it's not great. Some of the acting is kind of wonky. Some of the fight scenes, seemed choreographed to me. But I have a critical eye. I do this every week. So, I kind of look for stuff sometimes, even though I shouldn't. Sometimes I can let my mind go. But other times when it's, really noticeable, I tend to notice big time. And I will critique a movie for making me notice it. That being said, I did have a good time in this movie. I thought it was going to be a little bit more goofy and kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy. And this did remind me of Guardians of the Galaxy. It feels like a DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy. I will give it that. But it's not as bad as everybody's saying it is, at least in my opinion. Artist is subjective, and, movie making is a form of art. And not everybody's going to like everything, and not everybody's going to hate everything. And, I went in with low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. I had a good time watching it. There were some parts that I was rolling my eyes in this movie, I thought were goofy. And whenever they kick in a song during an action scene, I'd rather them take it more seriously in moments like that. And they tend to have fun and play with this movie, which is okay. That's fine. But just know that going in, that whenever there's a fight scene that's getting ready to happen, some, music's going to kick in and they're going to play around with it. They're not taking it seriously. Like I said before, my main reason to see this movie was Lobo. And Jason Momoa did an awesome job at this character. He was born to play this character, in my opinion. And he was a standout for this movie for me. I thought he did great. I love Lobo as a character. He's one of my favorite DC villains, or anti-hero, whatever you want to call him, because he's not really good or bad. He's just him, and it's either his way or the highway. And he's an intergalactic bounty hunter. That's all he cares about. He don't care about anything else. So that's kind of his, motif. He's like a hardcore space biker. And I love his character in the comic books. And I love how Jason Momoa portrayed him in this role. I thought that he did an awesome job, and it was perfect. Now, the actress that played Supergirl, I thought she did a great job. I'm not a big fan of the drunk superhero, kind of just off on their own, doing their own thing. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's how we're getting her. Like, I didn't like her at the end of Superman when she stumbles into the Fortress of Solitude, all drunk and stuff, wondering where her dog is. I didn't like that. So I knew that going in, she was going to be that type of character. And I didn't like it at the beginning, but she grew on me. And I ended up loving this character and loving her arc in the movie. And I loved Crypto. Crypto was really cool, you know, the little dog, you know. Of course, I'm an animal lover, so of course I'm going to love a super dog. So Crypto was really cool. But like I said, there was a lot of wonky acting sometimes, and sometimes I could tell when they're sitting on a soundstage, you know, and the green screens all around them. You know, that was kind of noticeable for me at times, but it didn't take me out of the movie. And I thought the villain was a good villain. He wasn't a super villain. He wasn't a Lex Luthor or anything like that. He was just a space pirate that was just no good. And I kind of like that. I didn't need a super villain. I just needed a plot device. And that's kind of how he felt to me. You know, because she's after him because he, you know, shoots her dog with a poison arrow and he's the only one with the antidote. So she has to go after him, you know, to do this thing. And this is... based on a graphic novel called Woman of Tomorrow, and which I've never read, but I have been watching, you know, the differences between the movie and the comic book, and there are some huge changes. So if you're a fan of the comic, you're probably not going to like this movie, or you might like it, but I heard it's a big step. And usually they take a lot of liberties going from one medium to another, you know, books to film, and which, so it's understandable to me, but I didn't read the comic, so it didn't affect me at all. But overall, I had a good time. It's not a great movie. It has problems, but I had fun watching it, and I would say go to the theater and judge for yourself. Because, guys, it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Have you seen Supergirl? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!